As of today, the virus has been lowered to an alert level from the highest serious level, and the recommended COVID-19 isolation period is now reduced to 5 days from the previously mandatory 7 days. Most mask mandates have been lifted, including at pharmacies and clinics. However, masking will still be required in nursing homes and in inpatient hospitals. For those entering the country, PCR tests are no longer recommended. As concerns of infection still remain, the government will continue to offer free COVID-19 vaccinations and medication. South Korea's exports in May dropped for an 8th month in a row. According to the industry ministry, outbound shipments fell by slightly over 15% compared to last May. The decline was driven by more than a third of a decrease in semiconductor exports caused by lowered demand and chip prices. Imports also dropped by 14% on year. However, the numbers indicate that the nation recorded a trade deficit of $2.1 billion, marking the 15th consecutive month of negative balance. Despite the ongoing streak of trade deficits, the ministry expressed optimism for the rest of the year, noting that the deficit has been consistently decreasing since the start of the year. Shifting gears to local news, a disability rights group has revealed human rights violations at a local residential facility for the disabled. The Busan Association of Independent Living Centers for People with Disabilities held a press conference this morning condemning the violations occurring at a welfare facility in Seoggu District. The said facility houses around 70 individuals with intellectual disabilities, and according to the group, an incident came to light where 7 social workers from the facility were caught writing mocking posts and uploading photos of 6 of the residents in a group chat room from 2021 until recently. Busan City was announced as the second city in South Korea to be selected for the publication of the renowned gourmet guidebook, the Michelin Guide. Busan City follows in the footsteps of Seoul, which was the first Korean city to be selected in 2016. First published in 1900, the Michelin Guide provides information on various restaurants and accommodations for drivers traveling by car and is currently published in 40 regions around the world. In the Michelin Guide, restaurants are awarded stars as a recognition of their culinary excellence. In international news, days before the anticipated U.S. debt default, the House of Representatives passed a deal to raise the nation's borrowing limit. Despite some dissenters from both parties, the proposal was comfortably adopted with a 314 to 117 vote. The U.S. Senate is set to vote on the bill later this week, after which President Joe Biden would need to sign it into law. The U.S. government is projected to reach its borrowing limit on Monday, June 5th, leaving little room for mistakes as lawmakers work swiftly to prevent the country from defaulting on its $31.4 trillion debt. Now for the local weather. It's currently 18 degrees Celsius on this rainy day in Busan. Expect scattered rain and cloudy skies throughout the day, with heavier showers in the evening. It's time to wrap up this hour's news. Thank you for joining. You're listening to BFM 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Coming up next is Steve Hatherly Reboot. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
What you're about to hear is amazing. That's because you're locked in to Busan's #1 English radio station. Whether you're at home, at work, or driving in your car, you will be exposed to radio excellence. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show because it starts right now.
There are certain months on the calendar that we tend to get excited about for a number of different reasons. For example, if you celebrate Christmas, then maybe December is a month that you anticipate. For you romantic types, maybe it's February and Valentine's Day that gets you peeking at the calendar a little bit early. But today is the very first day of June. Happy June, by the way. So I want to know, what are you most looking forward to this month? It's Thursday, June 1st, 2023. I'm Steve Hatherly. This is Steve Hatherly Reboot. Let's go.
Wait a minute, this love started off so tender, so sweet. But now she got me smoking out the window. Must have spent 45,000 up in Tiffany's. Oh no! Got a bad and kids running around my whole crib like it's Chuck E. Cheese. Whoa, whoa! Put me in the jam with an X-Men in the UFC. Can't believe it. I'm in disbelief. This got me paying the rent, paying for trips, diamonds on the neck, diamonds on the wrist, and here I am all alone. I'm so cold, I'm so cold. You got me out here. Smoking out the window. Smoking out the window. Singing, how could she do this to me? How could she do this to me? Oh, I thought that girl belonged to only me. But I was wrong. 'Cause she belongs to everybody. Ooh. Just the other night, she was gripping on me tight, screaming Hercules. Got me in the club looking for a new love, someone help me please. Baby, why you doing this? Why you doing this to me, girl? Not to be dramatic, but I wanna die. This got me paying no rent, paying for trips, diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist. And here I am all alone. I'm so cold, I'm so cold. You got me out here. Smoking out the window of the Benzo, the Benzo. Singing, how could she do this to me? How could you do this? Oh, I thought that girl belonged to only for you. One thing for sure. But I was wrong. I was wrong. She belongs to everybody. Yes, she belongs to everybody. She belongs to everybody. Oh, no. Look here, baby, I hope you find whatever it is that you need. But I also hope that your trifling just walk around barefoot in these streets. Look out! Girl, it breaks my heart that you ain't right here with me. Now I gotta give you back to the city. Oh, you got me smoking out the window. Singing, how could you do this to me? How could you do this, baby? Oh, I thought that girl belonged to only you. But I was wrong. She belongs to everybody.
That was Smoking Out the Window by Silk Sonic. And Silk Sonic, if you don't know, is an R&B duo comprising of Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. You remember a few years ago when there was that internet rumor that Bruno Mars was Michael Jackson's son? I don't think that rumor lasted very long, but it was circulating around the internet for at least a short period of time. And no, by the way, he is not Michael Jackson's son. Anyway, they first met, Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, when Paak was the opening act for Mars on the European leg of his 2017 world tour. They got on with each other very well, so they decided to see if they could turn their backstage banter and their friendship into some songs. And this soulful, slow jam was the very first tune that they wrote together. During that European tour, Mars came up with the phrase "smoking out the window," imagining an anxious man puffing cigarettes as he tries to escape his stressful circumstances. The four words became a recurring in-joke between the two, and when he and Pat got into the studio, it kind of became a hook for the song that you just heard. Hope you enjoyed that R&B tune to get us going today. We are live in the studio from Busan on this Thursday afternoon. Welcome to the program, everyone. You're listening to us on BEFM 90.5 in Busan, 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Zhongguan, and Noksan areas, in Seoul on TBS EFM 101.3 and in Gwangju on GFN 98.7. I'm your host, Steve Hatherly, and it's a rainy day here in Busan. A little cool outside today, but I'm not stressed about it because I checked the temperatures, and finally, remember I said I'm waiting for like 24, 25, 26, that range of temperatures? It's right around the corner. We are mere days away. By next week, it should be full-on summertime here in the oceanside town, and I'm psyched about that. I hope you are, too, if you're listening to us here in Busan. And if you're not listening to us in Busan, come for a visit. Come say hello. Stop by the studio. Meet Master Overlord. He's super friendly. He loves laughing. We learned that one, right? Why not? It's summertime and we're ready for a good time. I hope you're enjoying your day so far today. And before we get going, before I talk about what's on the show today, I'll remind you, of course, we want you to tune in to the whole show today. We want you to listen to the whole show every single day. But don't miss the show tomorrow, because we have an amazing prize to give away on tomorrow's show. We have 2 tickets, one set of 2 tickets, so one for you and your friend or your partner. You can give them to your parents, I guess, if you so please. 2 tickets to a wonderful, fancy, high-class event that is happening oceanside at one of the beautiful hotels here in the city. What else can I tell you today without giving it away? I should say this, shouldn't I? This event is for adults. So this isn't something that you would bring your child to. It's for you if you are over, or if you are of drinking age, I suppose. Legal drinking age, then this will allow you entry to the event. And whoever you are bringing with you, they should be of legal drinking age as well. Anything else I can say today? I want to tell you more, but I also want to keep it a secret. Should I say the price of the tickets, the value of the tickets? I think I can say that, right, Na PD? Each ticket is valued at 170,000 won, 17만 won, for one. So for 2 tickets, it's 340,000 won, and we are giving them to you. We haven't decided yet just how we are going to give the tickets away tomorrow, albeit a creative game or a quiz or something like that. But I guess we have today and perhaps tomorrow morning to figure that out. But again, the point is, don't miss the show tomorrow. We have a great prize to give away, and that's a little bit of the extra information I can tell you this afternoon. You'll have to wait until tomorrow to find out officially what that event is. All right, let's get to it. What's coming up on the show today? In hour number 1, we've got Hot Off the Press up first. Of course, as we always do, you'll hear some trendy music that has been newly released. I'll give you a little bit about the artist and about the track as well. Then a new segment and a new guest on Thursdays. It's called Parenting 101, and Cheryl will be here to introduce us to news about childcare and parenting, and also share her own personal experiences of her being a mom and raising a child. And I'm really, really looking forward to this segment. Actually, when I used to do my previous show, I recommended this as a program idea, and I guess it never really got off the ground for the idea that I had. But this is an interesting topic to me. You know that I love psychology, but psychology is not limited to adults, right? It's also including children, child psychology, why children behave the way they do. As a parent, how are you supposed to deal with certain situations when you have a young child or a baby at home? Really fascinating topic to me, and Cheryl is ultra qualified to talk about this topic, and she'll be here every single Thursday for Parenting 101. I'll ask you to say hello to Cheryl for the first time when she comes into the studio in about 15 minutes or so. I can't say, well, maybe I'll save it until Cheryl gets in to the studio. But I've kind of known Cheryl for a really, really long time, but not really. I only met her last week when she came into the studio and we kind of discussed the idea for the segment. But I'll give you that cute little story when Cheryl joins me shortly here in the studio. We'll have Parenting 101, and Cheryl will stay with me for what remains of the first hour. Then in hour number 2, we'll have our daily expression from my drama that I'm watching these days, Divorce Attorney Shin. It's a good expression today. We'll save that for hour number 2. We'll also have our fun fact of the day. This is kind of pointless and kind of interesting at the same time. Really common things, a list of common things that you never knew had random names. I'm going to list off some things, and you're going to say, yeah, okay, I know what that is, but you will also say, oh, I never thought that that actually has a name. For example, when you put toothpaste on a toothbrush, that little amount of toothpaste has a name. Probably never thought about that before, right? So completely useless information today, I suppose, but still fun at the same time. That'll be our fun fact of the day. When we were young. So typically on the previous season of the show on Thursday afternoons, we would have When We Were Young. That will be gone in this season, but we will continue to have Remember This. And it's the same explanation that I've been giving all week. We wanted to streamline the show. We wanted to make the show more efficient. And what we found was there was a little bit of crossover between When We Were Young and Remember This. So it was really easy to combine the two things. So whatever content took place in When We Were Young, you might see similar content pop up in the segment Remember This in this new season. So we will remove When We Were Young officially, the title from this season of the show. We will, like I said, though, keep Remember This. And for Remember This today, I won't explain it to you. I'll sing it to you. Do 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 do. You know what I'm talking about, right? A few years ago. Still, today, the most watched video on YouTube of all time. Baby Shark. They describe it as infuriatingly catchy, which means it makes you mad how catchy it is. And maybe by the end of the show today, maybe until you go to bed tonight, it'll still be ringing in your ears. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. We'll talk about Baby Shark and its popularity in our segment Remember This today. We'll also have Today in Music, where we'll find out what happened in today's music history, and I'll check your messages throughout the program as well. Question of the day today. I like asking this question at the beginning of a month, any month, because people have different things going on, right, in their own personal lives. And I like to think about that sometimes. It's kind of a random shower thought. But, for example, when I walked to the studio today, you know, how many people did I pass on the sidewalk? And I always talk about this with my wife, and she kind of thinks it's a little bit weird, but she also kind of understands. I say to her sometimes, hey, see that guy right there? She says, yeah. I said, we're never going to see him again. Isn't that weird? This is it. This is the only time in our lives we will ever look at that guy, and we will never know about him again. And he has his own life, his own family, his own story, his own job, his own career. And that's kind of the point of this question today, is I want to know a little bit about your life. Specifically in June. What are you most looking forward to in the month of June? Is your birthday coming up this month? Are you traveling this month? Perhaps are you starting a new job this month? Anything that you are looking forward to over the next 30 days, I want to know about it today. That is our question of the day this afternoon. 6월에 가장 기대되는 것은 무엇인가요? You can text me, pounder sharp 9050. That will cost you 101. Add us on Kakao Talk for free. Search BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone. You can download the app from any of the app stores. Download it onto your phone. Then you can listen to our programs and leave us some comments after logging in. And as always, you can go over to youtube.com and search BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. And you can subscribe to our channel when you are there. You can also log into YouTube. And once you do, then you can take part in the chat on the right-hand side. Oh, well, I got a message from someone who used to listen to the previous show that I did and was a regular messenger and a regular listener, and I'm getting a message for the first time in a long time on YouTube. Says, it's me, Agape Olive. It's been ages. I've been following up on you, but it was not long ago that you moved to Busan. Good to see you again. I'm loving this. And this is happening not every single day, but every few days, it seems, someone is finding this new season, this new show, which is into season number 2. So it's not exactly totally new anymore. But yeah, previous listeners are finding the show again, and I love that. I love that. Agape Olive, it's great to hear from you once again. And don't worry, I totally remember who you are. You know, that was 13 years. I remember all of you who took part in that program on a regular basis. Awesome. All right, you've got all the information you need for now, so let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll get to Hot Off the Press. Here is Jenna Rain, Stupid Cupid.
Here come the nights of losing sleep. You're out with people I won't ever meet instead of me. I can't decide on which is worse, the moving on or staying in the herd. Probably the first, but I wanna hold on tighter. That's just the way I'm wired. I wanna hold you like this, don't wanna say goodbye yet. Stupid Cupid really hit me hard with the love that could've gone real far. Stupid Cupid, when you crossed our stars, you broke my heart. Here comes the distant thinking and the paranoia, wonder where you've been. Conversation ends. Sometimes I wish we never started. Love's a moving target, oh, and the next part is the hardest, yeah. I wanna hold on tighter, that's just the way I'm wired. I wanna hold you like this, don't wanna say goodbye yet. Stupid Cupid really hit me hard with the love that could've gone real far. Stupid Cupid, when you crossed our stars, you broke my heart. Stupid Cupid, why'd you do me like that? Why'd you send me someone I can't have? Stupid Cupid, when you crossed our stars, you broke my heart. Stupid Cupid. Stupid Cupid. Stupid Cupid. You broke my heart. Stupid Cupid really hit me hard with the love that could've gone real far. Stupid Cupid, when you crossed our stars, you broke my heart. Stupid Cupid, why'd you do me like that? Why'd you send me someone I can't have? Stupid Cupid, when you crossed our stars, you broke my heart. You broke my heart.
That was Stupid Cupid by Jenna Rain. We are back, and now it's time for Hot Off the Press, where from Monday to Friday, we bring you 2 of the newest, hottest tracks from the world of music. And yep, a lot of songs get released every single week. We pick out a couple each day that we hope that you'll enjoy. Let's start with a new one from Dua Lipa, Dance the Night, following the latest trailer for the highly anticipated Barbie movie. Are you excited about that? The first song from the soundtrack has also now been unveiled, titled Titled Dance the Night, the song comes courtesy of singer and songwriter sensation Dua Lipa, with the Grammy Award winner also set to play a mermaid Barbie in the movie. Dua Lipa joins the likes of Lizzo, Haim, Charlie XCX, and Tame Impala in performing on the Barbie soundtrack, which drops on July 21st. I mean, when you think about, maybe when you hear about the movie Barbie, then you think, oh, maybe a little bit silly, maybe the music won't be so good. But Lizzo, Haim, Charlie XCX, Tame Impala, the rock and roll band, on the list of performers for the soundtrack. This sounds like it's going to be pretty good. We'll hear the new one from Dua Lipa, and then One Republic's got a new one as well called Runaway. After the success of their 2022 single I Ain't Worried, which was featured in the blockbuster hit Top Gun Maverick and currently boasts over 3 billion streams, One Republic is back with yet another single, not unlike many others they have managed to successfully chart. Runaway is a song about letting your fears, internal struggles, and constraints melt away while you lose yourself in the thrill of seeing new things and exploring new places. Here we go with our two tracks for Hot Off the Press today. New from Dua Lipa, Dance the Night, and then One Republic, brand new tune, Runaway.
Baby, you can find me under the lights, diamonds under my eyes. Turn the rhythm up, don't you wanna just come along for the ride? Oh, my outfit's so tight, you can see my heartbeat tonight. I can take the heat, baby, best believe that's the moment I shine. 'Cause every romance shakes and it bends, don't give a damn. When the night's here, I don't do tears, baby, no chance. I could dance, I could dance, I could dance. Watch me dance, dance the night away. My heart could be burning, but you won't see it on my face. Watch me dance, dance the night away. I'll still keep the party running, I won't get out of place. Lately, I've been moving close to the edge, still be looking my best. I stay on the beat, you can count on me, I ain't missing no steps. 'Cause every romance shakes and it bends, don't give a damn. When the night's here, I don't do tears, baby, no chance. I could dance, I could dance, I could dance. Watch me dance, dance the night away. My heart could be burning, but you won't see it on my face. Watch me dance, dance the night away. I'll still keep the party running, I won't get out of place. When my heart breaks, when my world shakes, I don't play safe, don't you know about me? I could dance, I could dance, I could dance. Even when the tears are flowing like diamonds on my face, I still keep the party going, not one hair out of place. Yes, I can. Even when the tears are flowing like diamonds on my face, yes, I can. I still keep the party going, not one hair out of place. Watch me dance, dance the night away. My heart could be burning, but you won't see it on my face. Watch me dance, dance the night away. I'll still keep the party running, I won't get out of place. When my heart breaks, when my world shakes, I don't play safe, don't you know about me? I could dance, I could dance, I could dance, dance the night.
Run away, right now, let's just run away. All that talk is killing me. One last shot, hold on to me. Oh, there's something I gotta say to you. There's somewhere we gotta go. Been out here sinking in the sand, chasing what we can, baby, it's not enough. Oh, it's like we're stuck in the mezzanine, with 20 floors left to go. Oh yeah, been out here drowning in the rain, trying to switch the lane, but you already know. So don't waste this time, yeah, I don't move slow. One good shot and I'll let you know it's all I want you. Can we just let go? Run away, just run away. All that talk is killing me. One last shot, hold on a minute. Oh, maybe I think we should run away. I'm my own worst enemy. Blue skies only miles away. One last shot, hold on a minute. Oh, there's something I gotta say to you. I'm on that new energy. Oh yeah, not on that easy as it goes. Wait for miracles. No, but we'll be. No, so don't waste this time. Yeah, I don't move slow, but one good shot and I'll let you know it's all I want. Yeah, can we just let go and run away? Right now, let's just run away. All that talk is killing me. One last shot, hold on a minute. Oh, maybe I think we should run away. I'm my own worst enemy. Blue skies only miles away. One last shot, hold on a minute. Oh, one last shot, hold on a minute. Oh, run away. Right now, let's just run away. All that talk is killing me. One last shot, hold on a minute. Oh.
Brand new music from One Republic, Runaway, and before that, Dua Lipa, Dance the Night. Those were our two tracks for Hot Off the Press today. Question of the day today. We're into it now, aren't we? It's June 1st. Summer is officially here, and I want to know, what are you most looking forward to in the month of June? 8758 Nim texted in and said, I'm really looking forward to June 22nd. And that's because my university vacation starts from that day. That's the last day of the semester, huh? Before the vacation officially kicks off. How long are you off for? I'm not familiar with the study calendar for universities. So do you start again in September, maybe? Is it that long, or is it shorter than that? Anyway, what are we, June 1st? 21 more days to go. Oh, 3 weeks from today, 8758. Hang in there. You're almost to your summer vacation. 2025 texted in, summer vacation. I'm starting to see a theme here because Pak Sung-un texted in, I'm looking forward to the end of the semester, haha. All the students today are going to text in with exactly the same answer, huh? Looking forward to summer vacation, looking forward to the end of the semester. Andy Lies out there listening today. Good afternoon, sir. Andy says surfing season starts soon. The waves are bad, but at least the water is warmer. Yeah, that's true. But if you're, I might take a crack at surfing this summer, and small waves would be good for a person like me. I've only taken one surfing lesson in my life. It was in Hawaii at Waikiki Beach. And on the floor of the ocean at Waikiki it's covered in sea urchins. And I'm saying like thousands of sea urchins, and you do not want to put your feet down there. So I totally took away from the learning experience for me, but I might give it a shot this summer. That is our question today. What are you most looking forward to in the month of June? 6월에 가장 기대되는 곳은 무엇인가요? Text me, pound or sharp, 9050. That will cost you 101. You can add us on Kakao Talk for free and send in messages for free as well. Search BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone app. You can download the app from any of the app stores. You can listen to our programs there and leave us some comments after logging in. And of course, you can go to youtube.com and search BEFM or 부산영어방송. That's exactly the same search. Once you're there, please subscribe to our channel. You can also log in, and once you do that, you can take part in the chat on the right-hand side. Oh, well, now this is an interesting story that we're going to tell right now. We have a new guest in the studio for a new segment. Cheryl is here for Parenting 101. There you go. Do you know which camera you're on? I think you're on this one.
I've got no idea.
Yeah, right over here.
Okay.
To your right-hand
I'm going to wave
side.
to this one
Wave.
and say hello.
Wave hello. And we're going to get to your personal introduction and the segment introduction in just a sec. But I just love this story of how you and I came to not really know each other.
Absolutely. It's just full circle, really.
Totally full circle. So it was about 10 years ago or so, and maybe even longer than that, actually. Maybe about 12 years ago or so. Because the radio station that I was working at the time was TBS was located in Myeongdong, in the Namsan area, and I was doing the show at the time. And we were live on Saturday afternoons, and we were talking about summer or something, and I got a message from someone talking about a surfing competition, and the message was from Cheryl. And I don't know who Cheryl is. She said she lives in Busan, blah, blah, blah. That was the beginning of our friendship, so to speak.
Text ship,
Which only existed on Facebook. And then last week, and Na PD said to me, we're thinking about a new guest, her name's Cheryl. I said, Cheryl? Is it surfing, Cheryl? He said, yeah. I said, oh, my goodness, finally. And you're right. It is full circle, Cheryl. I'm so excited to have you here on the show.
I'm excited to be here, but, now you've dated us.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It puts a date stamp on our relationship, a timeline.
It makes me feel old, too.
Well, please introduce yourself to our audience. I know it's not your first time here on BEFM, but for new listeners, perhaps.
Yeah, new listeners might not know me. I've not been on for a little while, but usually they would hear my voice in the summer talking about the surf scene in Busan.
Got it. You are a fellow Canadian.
Yes, I am. Toronto.
Mm-hmm. And that's your business here, right? That's your life here. You are into surfing. You have your daughter with you as well, and everything you post on social media seems to be surfing related or related to your daughter, or both.
Absolutely. Well, that's my life.
Yeah.
Once you try surfing, that's it. You're going to be addicted. I'll tell you what, I will take you.
Oh, okay.
For your first surf lesson in Busan.
There we go. All right, so let's get to it then, Cheryl. Once again, it's great to have you here. The segment is called Parenting 101. So can you introduce what our listeners can expect to hear over the next few weeks and the next few months?
So over the next few weeks and over the next few months, essentially we'll be talking about children and parenting. And there's a lot to cover. So we'll discuss child development, we'll discuss schooling, we'll also discuss cultural norms from raising a Western child versus raising a child in Korea, because it is so different, and also how to address the whole child. So I think it's going to be an interesting segment.
I think it's going to be a really interesting segment, and I think there's going to be lots to learn as well. So let's dive right in. What's our topic for today?
So since today is the first time that I'm here, I figured that today's segment should probably start at the beginning, and we're going to talk about having a baby.
Okay. The difference maybe between having a child in Canada versus having a child in Korea.
Exactly. So you might not have this experience.
You are definitely correct.
But having a baby in Korea is a different experience from an expecting mom overseas. Navigating language, which is one of the biggest difficulties for an expat. Also, the culture, postpartum norms, and your own personal expectations can be really stressful when you're having a baby in another country.
Your daughter was born here in Korea, correct?
She was born here in Korea. She's actually born here in Busan.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so she speaks Busan Satori.
Oh, nice. Maybe we can have her on because I learned some Satori on Wednesday afternoons. Okay, so what was your experience like then when you had your child here in Korea, in Busan?
So I knew absolutely nothing apart from what I'd seen on TV and movies. And I was quite informed, even after someone gave me a copy of What to Expect When You're Expecting, which is like the Bible of birth.
I've seen that in TV shows and movies. It is the book that all women have, right? When they're about to have a child for the very first time, because there's so much unknown, I guess.
Exactly. And supposedly it covers everything, but I didn't read it.
Oh, Somebody gave it to you, but you just decided, I'm going to do this on my own.
Somebody gave it to me, didn't even crack the cover. And I also got another book about milestones, which I didn't read. Got another book about baby sleep patterns and how to help your baby sleep, which I didn't read.
Why didn't you read any of those books?
I don't know. I have no idea why I didn't read them. I guess there was too much information. And it was a bit overwhelming. Although I wish I'd read the sleep book because the kid didn't sleep until the age of 3. So that would have been useful.
A friend of mine and who was on my previous show for many, many years, Peter Bint, he has a couple of, and our listeners will know Peter Bint's name very, very well. He has a couple of children, adorable children. And I asked him that very same question. There's so much information out there and sometimes contradictory information out there, so you never really know which book you're supposed to follow and believe and which one you're not supposed to follow and not believe. I guess that was part of your reasoning.
That was a huge part of the reasoning. And also there's so much information online as well. So it's just too much. It's too overwhelming. Plus, I was considered a geriatric pregnancy.
Which is?
Which is anybody who's over the age of 35.
Okay.
And it's considered a high-risk pregnancy.
That was my sister, too. She gave birth for the first time when I think she was 43 years old.
Yeah, so there's so much information there, and a lot of it just makes you feel more stressed and more anxiety because this can go wrong and this can go wrong.
So they're always talking about, and it's not like the publications are wrong, but it's just throwing it in your face, the high risk, high risk, high risk. I see.
Exactly. So I just kind of shut the books and shut the computer and just said, okay, I'm just going to go with it myself and I'll figure it out as I go, which has pretty much been how I've approached parenting. Maybe not the best sometimes, but it's worked out. I think the baby boomer generation had it easy.
So then what is the biggest difference, in your opinion, in your own personal experience, between giving birth in Korea versus overseas? You mentioned, some of the difficulties, of course, and this would be true for anyone in another country which isn't their own. Language difficulties can exist.
Language difficulty is one of the biggest ones, but luckily in my case, I did find an English-speaking OBGYN, and he was able to communicate everything really well. Unfortunately, the day that I went into labor, he wasn't there.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was really confusing because there was no English speaker at the time. My husband was sleeping on the sofa. He can sleep everywhere. And yeah, it was just very stressful.
So knowing what's happening at all steps of the birthing process, or, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, are there differences there from what we see? And again, I'm only educated from what I've seen in films and dramas and stuff.
Which I was.
Oh, okay. So then walk us through that experience then, if you don't mind.
So essentially, the biggest part of the birthing process that's different from Western countries is postpartum.
Okay.
So that's after you have the baby. In Western countries, women are usually discharged about a day, 2 days after giving birth, if it's normal.
Okay, so you can go home in Canada, for example, after you have your baby, maybe a couple of days in the hospital, the doctors will check on you, and if you're fine, then you can go home within a couple of days.
Absolutely, but Korea is quite different. In Korea, healing the mother is paramount. So childbirth is almost seen as a traumatic experience. And most women will stay in hospital for up to a week after delivery to recover. The room is kept very, very warm. And they have the option of having the child in the room, if it's a private room, or in the nursery. So that allows you time to sleep and recover before the crying child is brought home and the sleepless nights begin.
The husband or the father can stay in the room together, right? So is this a separate building from the hospital where you give birth, or is this all in the same place?
So this is different. So after giving birth, you stay in the hospital. If you've got the private room, then your husband can stay, the baby can stay. But I think what you're talking about is the jorigwan.
The jorigwan.
Yes, and approximately 4 out of 5 Korean women will enter that after giving birth.
Okay, and what is that exactly?
So what it is it's culturally specific to Korea, and it's postpartum care. In the Sanhudori, women eat healthy foods, do a lot of exercises, stretching, and keep their bodies very, very warm. And this period can last for a week to a month.
Oh, up to a month.
Up to a month.
Wow, okay.
So sanhujori is a compound word. Sanhu means after childbirth, and jori is regaining of your physical condition by doing a variety of recovery activities.
Kind of getting back in shape, so to speak, not talking about going to the gym or something, that kind of getting back in shape, but getting your body healthy again and recovering fully.
Exactly. Women have massages while they're there. They learn different childcare information and do a lot of stretching and eat a lot of healthy food. And it's believed it's important because if you don't do it, you could suffer a range of illnesses like joint inflammation, low blood pressure, depression. After having my daughter, my mother-in-law insisted that I wear warm socks and keep the windows closed so that I wouldn't have pain later.
Okay.
And now 12 years later, I wish I'd listened to my mother-in-law.
So did you go through this experience yourself?
I didn't. We looked into one, but after learning that the rooms are really hot and the menu is mostly fish and miukguk.
Oh, which are two things, I mean, miyeokguk especially can help your body recover quickly, yeah?
Absolutely. Miukguk it's the birthday soup. Do you get miukguk on your birthday?
Yeah, the seaweed soup, sure.
There you go.
That was actually my first meal that I ever had in Korea on the airplane coming over from Chicago to Gimpo at the time. Actually, was miyeokguk and bibimbap. So yeah, I know about the birthday thing, but I also know that miyeokguk is meant to be filled with iron. I believe, is that correct?
Absolutely, because it's made with seaweed and some kind of protein. It's considered high in iron, rich in omega-3s, and it helps to rebalance the body. So I guess your birthday was the day that you arrived in Korea.
I guess so. Well, no, it wasn't, but I remember having that on my first birthday here. $1,800 was the price tag for this room?
Yes. Now consider this was 12 years ago.
So it's probably more now.
Probably more now. So $1,800, 180만 원.
Yeah.
That's quite a big price tag.
Is that can't be per day, obviously. Is that a per week price?
So that would have been for me to stay for 2 weeks.
Okay. If you break that down, on a daily price, that's $900 a week. But considering the care that you get, it's really intensive care, right? There is someone at your beck and call for everything that you need if you stay at one of these joriwans, right?
There are so many programs to partake in if you take advantage of that program.
I see. So then going back to when you came home, then how did you know what to do if you didn't have all those books? Well, no, you had the books, you just didn't read the books.
Exactly. I had the books and I didn't read them. So before being discharged from the hospital, all new parents have to take a parenting class.
Okay.
They won't let you go home without it.
Interesting.
And you'll learn the basics of infant care. And during the week stay before discharge, the nurses were very helpful, giving information as well. And especially for me, it was very important because I've got a history of killing plants.
Okay.
So
You wanted all the information you could get.
so thankful for all the information that I could get.
The Choriwan culture does not exist in Canada. Is that correct?
It absolutely doesn't. In Canada, it's in and out. You know, it's a social system in Canada. So healthcare is available to all. And it's just a rotating door. You have your baby and you're in and out. My sister-in-law was pregnant at the same time as me, 3 months ahead.
Okay.
And she had my niece and was out of hospital in 2 days.
Okay. Everything is free in Canada as well, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. The Choriwan in Korea, though, is not mandatory. It's optional.
Absolutely.
But the parenting education that you receive before you go home with your baby is mandatory.
It is. Yes, all the parents who were being discharged on that day were brought to one room, signed in, and a whole PowerPoint presentation about how to care for your infant was shown to us. And at the time, my Korean was not so good. So I just looked at the PowerPoints and tried to figure out what was going on. And anything that I didn't really understand, things like how to hold the baby when in the bath, I didn't want to risk dropping a slippery child.
Of
So
course.
those things were left to my husband.
Oh, that was the husband's job, huh? There's a declining birth rate here in the country, and the government is trying to take steps in order to encourage people to have more children. What's the latest update on what the government is doing, or at least one thing, if you happen to know?
So for a while, there has been something called a mom's card that supports $500 or 50만 원 toward hospital visits and baby essentials. And in recent years, the government has started to offer something that Canadians know about because we had access to it when we were young, called the baby bonus.
Okay, what's the baby bonus?
So in Canada, this is something that's around since 1945.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But in Korea, it's a new thing. So it's a monthly child allowance paid to families. And that wasn't around 12 years ago when I had my daughter. So now families can receive 700,000 won or 70만 원 in cash per month for infants up to the age of a year.
So for the first 12 months of a child's life, the family will receive 70만 원 per month. After that baby goes into its 13th month, then that 70만 원 stops.
Well, it drops.
Oh, okay.
So after the age of 1, they get 350,000 won, so 35만 원 per month for children under 2.
Oh, so for the following year, you get 350,000. And then is that the last year where you can receive support from the government?
For now, but the payments are set to rise to 1 million won, so that's 100만 원, and 500,000 50만 원 in 2024.
So the government is taking this declining birth rate more seriously, not more seriously than it was in the past, but at least trying to give bigger incentives to prospective parents to have children.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there are also things like idolbom, which are babysitting programs and after-school programs for working parents.
Interesting, because the nanny kind of culture isn't really as common here, as far as I know, as it might be in Canada or in other countries.
It's really not, because there's still that expectation that grandparents are going to look after children. And the government has stepped forward and said, okay, if grandparents are going to look after children, we're going to help pay for them as well. So they're really trying to incentivize having children at this point.
Good stuff. We're already out of time, Cheryl. That went by super quickly.
Wow.
Today was the very first installment of Parenting 101, and I can already tell I'm going to be such a good mom, someday by the end of this.
You know what? You are. And when you're ready, I'm going to give you what to expect when you're expecting.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then I'll never read that either, right? Cheryl, great first installment of Parenting 101. Already looking forward to next week. It was great to have you here. It is great to have you here, and we'll see you again next time.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Have a good week, Cheryl.
You too.
Stay with us for hour number 2 to finish up the first. It's the Commodores' Easy.
Know it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me, girl, you know I've done all I can. You see, I beg, stole, and I borrowed. Yeah. Ooh, that's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Why in the world would anybody put chains on me? Yeah. I paid my dues to make it. Everybody wants me to be what they want me to be. I'm not happy when I try to fake it. No. Ooh, that's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Your Reach to the World. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
구 년 전 한국에서의 새로운 출발을 위해 부산을 처음 찾은 프랭크. 부산의 자연과 사람, 부산에서 누리는 모든 것을 사랑하는 그는 부산의 변함없는 한대에 늘 감탄합니다.
I think that Busan people are actually very, very kind and very welcoming. If I seemed a little lost, there was always someone that was there to ask me if I needed help. They're more seriously friendly than it's very serious. I very seriously want to help you.
부산의 한결같은 모습도 늘 감동을 주지만 이제는 부산의 미래를 꿈꾸며 2030년 부산의 새로운 도약을 기대합니다.
Busan people are very proud of their city. They want to share the city with everyone. If we get the World Expo, it'll really put Busan on a global map.
세계 박람회가 어울리는 도시, 미래를 향한 힘찬 도약. 부산에서 출발한 파도는 이미 세계를 향해 뻗어 나가고 있습니다. 2030 부산 세계 박람회. 부산이 시작하고 대한민국이 함께 이뤄갑니다. 이 캠페인은 지역과 함께하는 든든한 동반자 BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Transforming our world. Navigating toward a better future. The great transformation begins right here in Busan through the 2030 Busan World Expo. Busan will set a new course toward a better tomorrow for the Earth and for humanity. So we need your support to start a new movement.
I support.
지지합니다.
I support. I support.
지지합니다.
I support. I support.
Busan, the city where you can experience nature, technology, and people. The one and only 2030 Busan World Expo awaits you.
See you right here in Busan.
See you right here in Busan. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, 부산영어방송.
The time is now 3 o'clock.
You're listening to Steve Hatherly Reboot on BEFM 90.5.
Every time I say what's on my mind, it never really seemed to come out right. Sometimes I just feel like staying quiet in the night. Well, you would be the perfect one to ask. So tell me if I'm losing all my class. Sometimes I just feel like running back to the night. I don't know how to tell you something, but I do know that it won't be easy. I'm headed in the right direction. Just tell me what to say. Just tell me what to say. Thinking to myself, what is the time? And surely I could wait until it's right. Sometimes it just feels like a butterfly in the night. I don't know how to tell you something, but I do know that it won't be easy. I'm headed in the right direction. Just tell me what to say. Just tell me what to say. Did I mess this up? I could be going out of my mind. Try to just be myself. Try, but I just couldn't back it up. I'm back it up now, yeah. Back it up now. I'm back it up now, yeah. Back it up now. Don't know how to tell you something, but I do know that it won't be easy. I'm headed in the right direction. Just tell me what to say. Just tell me what to say. How did I mess this up? I could be going out of my mind. Try to just be myself. Try, but I just couldn't back it up.
That was Sports Tell You Something. I just found that group last night, as a matter of fact. I was looking through a list of different artists and songs. When I pick out my song, the first song of the second hour, sometimes I pick something old, but sometimes I want to pick something that I've never heard of before. And I'd never heard of this group Sports before. They're from Oklahoma in the United States, and they're a dream pop band. You could hear that song, very shoegazy, right? They started playing together in grade school, and they went through a bunch of different names until they decided to adopt this moniker after their self-described lack of athleticism. Apparently not a bunch of athletes in this band. Bassist Jacob Theriot and guitarist Christian Theriot, they're brothers, forming the core trio with their friend and vocalist Cale Chronister. Cool, right? Two brothers and one of their friends from their school days got together to make this group. You could tell they're very influenced by these breezy indie pop sounds, and their debut LP was called Naked All the Time. That came out in late 2015, and then the year after that, in 2016, they released their sophomore effort, the groove-heavy People Can't Stop Chillin'. But I wonder this. I was thinking about this last night as I saw the group name. The group name is Sports, right? But I wonder, is it hard for fans to find their music? Because I'm a big fan of another American group called Hockey. I played them on the show once. They're kind of an under-the-radar band. But when you go to YouTube and you search Hockey, it's impossible to find their songs. And they say that a band's name is super important. It can be a major determining factor for their success, not only in the country that they're from, but also internationally as well. And I remember hearing that one of the reasons that U2, you know U2, right? Bono, The Edge. One of the reasons U2 is so successful is that their group name is easy to say in almost every language around the world. Very accessible, right? So when I saw this group named Sports, well, how am I supposed to find their music? Can I go to YouTube and search Sports? That's not going to be the first thing that pops up, which means you'll have to keep digging and digging and digging. Anyway, Tell You Something is on a couple of lists of the grooviest tunes from just a year or two ago. So I wanted to introduce that group to you today as they were introduced to me just last night. That was my personal song selection for you today as we get into the second hour of Steve Hatherly Reboot from Busan on this Thursday afternoon. Thank you so much for staying with us for hour number 2. You're listening to us on BEFM 90.5 in Busan, 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Zhongguan, and Noksan areas. In Seoul on TBS EFM 101.3 and in Gwangju on GFN 98.7. Let's get to our expression of the day as we get into the second hour. From the drama Divorce Attorney Shin. This is a good one. Useful in Korean and in English. It's a very playful, I think, expression in both languages. And this is the scene where the expression was used. In this scene, one lawyer is saying to the other lawyer, "Oh, can you kind of do me a favor? Can you do this thing for me?" And this was the response.
뭘 주실 건데요?
뭘 주실 건데요? 뭘 주실 건데요? 뭘 주실 건데요 means, what will you give me? So when we translate that to English directly, 뭘, what, 주실 건데요, 주실 건데요, what, 뭐 주실 거예요, what will you give me? We don't usually say that in English when we're trying to be playful. This is what we say. We say, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? Now, this is not used in a serious way. You can use this with your romantic partner or with your friends. If your friend says, "Oh, hey, could you pick me up at the airport, please? My flight arrives on Saturday afternoon." Then you can say, what's in it for me? And that's a cute way of saying, well, if I help you, what are you going to do for me? That's not a good example. That's a huge favor. Who's going to go to the airport to pick up their friend on a Saturday afternoon? The traffic would be terrible. You better be my mom or my wife if you are asking me to pick you up at the airport on a Saturday afternoon. That's a bad example. This example was from work, right? When these two lawyers are talking. But like I said, it's cute, right? So maybe at home, if your husband or if your partner says, "Can you make a coffee for me?" You can say, "나 그렇게 하면 뭘 주실 건데요?" Then what will you give to me, or what will you do for me? Super playful, super cute, not meant to be serious at all. Once again, in English, what's in it for me? Let's hear it one more time in Korean.
뭘 주실 건데요?
뭘 주실 건데요? There you go. That's our expression to kick off hour number 2 today. Now, what else is coming up in the second hour? We will have our fun fact of the day. This is fun and random and useless today. There's stuff in our lives and we don't even know what the name of it is. The example that I gave in the first hour was this. When you have your toothbrush, right? And when you put a little bit of toothpaste onto your toothbrush, there's a name for that small amount of toothpaste. You never thought about that, did you? Well, there are things in our lives that we've never thought about the name of before, and I have a short list of words for you today. The list is entitled Extremely Common Things You Never Knew Had Extremely Random Names. That'll be our fun fact of the day today. When we were young, I mentioned this in the first hour of the show this afternoon. When we were young from the previous season of the show, we decided to remove that from the new season of the show. Why? Because we can easily take the content that existed in When We Were Young and include that sometimes into our segment Remember This, which was also on the previous season of the show and will continue to be on the show this season as well. For Remember This today, Baby Shark. We don't have to go back that long ago, do we? It was only a few years ago when Baby Shark took the internet by storm. Was it annoying? Yep. Was it super popular? Yep. Did children absolutely love it? Absolutely, yup, as well. We will revisit Baby Shark this afternoon. I didn't check the cue sheet. Napidi, are you going to play Baby Shark on the show today? Yes? No? A little bit. Okay, that's good. I was worried you were going to play the whole thing and we would lose our entire listening audience. We take a trip down memory lane and revisit Baby Shark and Remember This today. We'll also have a look at today in music history, and I'll check your messages throughout the second hour of the show as well. Question of the day today, what are you looking forward to the most in the month of June? 6월에 가장 기대되는 곳은 무엇인가요? Lee Kelly Nim is out there listening today. He says, I can't wait to swim with my dog in the ocean. Warmer beach water. When does the beach water get warm enough for swimming, I wonder? I mean, I assume you could go swimming now. Well, actually, that's not true. I don't even know if the beaches are the beaches open yet? I guess it depends on the beach. Some beaches, they have an opening time, right? Other beaches, maybe not. And also maybe they have different opening times too. So I'm not entirely sure when you're allowed to go swimming in the ocean. Like Haeundae or Gwangali, can you go swimming now or can you not? I don't know. If you know, please do let me know. But yeah, when the weather gets warm, when the water gets warm, always nice to go swimming. Probably a little chilly just yet, maybe a few weeks of 25 degrees and warmer, and then the water will be appropriately warm for me. Other people don't mind cold water, but I'm not a huge fan of it at all. I like my water to be Philippine temperature, please, and thank you. But yeah, definitely looking forward to going swimming as well. What else is going on in terms of messages today? Hannah Gray says, I'm looking forward to the long weekend this coming weekend. I'm taking Monday off for this, and we will be going to Hokkans to go swimming, relaxing, and eating good food. Oh, yeah. There's another long weekend coming. Well, this time it's not officially a long weekend, right? Because next Tuesday is a red day on the calendar. So if you're lucky, your company will allow you to take Monday off. Oh, and that's amazing because that means you would have after work Friday, so all Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and then back to work on Wednesday. That sounds amazing. Good for you. Hokkans. Hotel. What's that word? How do you translate that again? Hokkans? I mean, I know what it is. It's like a hotel stay, like a hotel vacation in the city that you're kind of from. That sounds fun. Sounds fun, especially when you're in Busan and you can stay right on the ocean, right? Any other answers? Messages for Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. Nice to see you. I'll be sure to pass those along next time. Lots of hi, Cheryl messages out there today. All right, let's keep going. Keep your messages coming in. Tell me what you're looking forward to most in the month of June. Once again, 6월에 가장 기대되는 곳은 무엇인가요? Send in your answers. Text me pound or sharp 9050. That will cost you 100 won. You can add us on Kakao Talk for free and send messages in for free as well by searching BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone. You can download the app from any of the app stores. You can listen to our programs after logging in. And if you don't mind, go over to youtube.com, search BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search. You can subscribe to our channel there. You can also log in and take part in the chat on the right-hand side. And just before we go to our next song break, we got a message about the beaches, but it's a little bit long, so I will share that information with you a little bit later on in the program. We'll come back with our fun fact of the day after CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival Traveling Band.
737 coming out of the sky. Oh, won't you take me down to Memphis on a midnight ride? I won't move. Hey, you need a traveling pain. Yeah, but I'm flying across the land, trying to get a hand. Hey, you need a traveling band. Take me to the hotel, bag is gone. Oh well, come on, won't you get me to my room? I won't move. Hey, you need a traveling band. Yeah, well I'm flying across the land, trying to get a hand. Hey, you need a traveling band. Listen to the radio, talking about the last show. Someone got excited, had to call a state militia. Won't move. Hey, you need a traveling band. Yeah, well I'm flying across the land, trying to get a hand. Hey, you need a traveling band. Wow! Here we come again on Saturday night. With your fussing and your fighting, won't you get me to the right? I won't move. Hey, you need a traveling band. Yeah, well I'm flying across the land, trying to get a hand. Hey, you need a traveling band. Wow! Hey, you need a traveling band. Hey, you need a traveling band. Why'd you give me tell my hand? But I'm playing in a traveling band. I'm flying across the land, trying to get a hand. Hey, you need a traveling band. Wow!
So this information, oh, by the way, it's CCR Traveling Band you just listened to. Yeah, the beach information, this is kind of fantastic timing. Busan's beaches will be fully open this summer with no restrictions. Haeundae-gu announced that they will temporarily open Haeundae Beach and Songjong Beach for summer operations from June 1st, today. How funny that I bring this up on the day that they're actually opening the beaches. Additionally, the 300-meter swimming section will return to Haeundae Beach and will be open daily from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. near the event plaza, as well as a 150-meter section near the Tourist Information Center at Songjong Beach. All 7 beaches around Busan, there are 7 beaches around the city, will officially open for summer operations on July 1st. And this year will run until August 31st. So if you're looking for all 7 beaches officially to be open, it will be July 1st. We have to wait another month for that. But as we just learned, Haeundae and Songjong beaches open today from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's going to be certain sections that you can use. Good information to know. So if you're ready for a swim, get out there early tomorrow morning. Huh? What do you think? A 9 a.m. swim at Haeundae Beach. How does that sound to start your day? Pretty good to me. Thank you to Nat PD for finding and sharing that information with me. All right, let's get to our fun fact of the day. The title of this article is Extremely common things you never knew had extremely random names. I love information like this because it's not something that we are ever going to learn ever again. We'll probably forget about it as quickly as we learn it, but it's still fun. And let's dive right in with the toothpaste example because I talked about it a couple of times already. The tiny dab of toothpaste. Okay, so you woke up this morning or maybe you finished your lunch today and you went into the bathroom and you took the toothpaste and you put it on your toothbrush. Do you know what that little bit of toothpaste is called on your toothbrush? Nurdle. How cute is that? Nurdle. Nurdle is a tiny dab of toothpaste. Put a little nurdle on your toothbrush. That's so cute and fun. Didn't know it was called that. How about this one? This is just a totally random list, by the way, so I'm just going to keep going through a few of these until I decide to stop. There's 50 on this list, but obviously I'm not going to do all 50. Okay, so before you put the nurdle on your toothbrush, maybe you had your coffee, but you got a hot coffee. So maybe you asked at the coffee shop, can you give me a sleeve, a coffee sleeve? You know that little cardboard thing that you use for your hot coffee so that the cup doesn't burn your hand? Well, apparently that's not called a sleeve at all. It's called a zarf. Z or Z-A-R-F. Z-A-R-F. So the next time you go to a coffee shop and you order your Americano, you can say, 네, 아메리카노 한 잔 주시고요. 저기 zarf 하나 주세요. See what kind of response you get. You'll probably get, 뭐? Z-A-R-F, the cardboard sleeve on a coffee cup. Zarf. How about this? When you open a banana, is that the right way to say that? Open a banana? No, peel a banana. You don't open a banana. It's not a carton of milk. When you peel a banana, you know those white, like stringy things that you don't know what to do with? You don't really eat them. I mean, you can, but you usually just kind of peel them off and throw them away, right? You know what I'm talking about? The long, stringy things when you peel a banana. Those are called phloem bundles. Okay, don't need that information. How about this? Look at your shoe right now, or feel your shoelaces. At the very end of your shoelaces, can you feel a little plastic thing that protects the end of the shoelace so that it doesn't get all frayed? That is called an aglet. That sounds like a baby pig almost, doesn't it? An aglet is the plastic coating on a shoelace. How about this? Okay, take your finger, follow me please. Take your finger and touch your nose. Okay, are you doing it? I can't see you. You can see me, but I can't see you. Are you doing it? Okay, touch your nose. Now slide your finger down your nose, not up your nose, down your nose to the space between your lip and the bottom of your nose. That little groove, that is the philtrum. Why does that have a name? But it does have a name. That little groove between your lip and your nose is called the philtrum. What's the function of the philtrum? I don't even know what the function is. It's got to have some point, doesn't it? It can't just be totally random. Let's do one more. There's 50 of these, but I'll just choose one more. This one's my favorite. The definition is when you look at someone silently, hoping that they'll give you some food that they are eating. So imagine you're with your partner or you're with your friend and they're eating something delicious and you're just staring at them, but you don't say anything. Do you know what the definition is of that word or of that thing, that situation is? The definition is, or the word is, groak. G-R-O-A-K. So the next time your partner or your friend is eating something delicious, just look at them and say, groak. and see what they say as a response to you. Sounds like Groot. You can say, I am Groke. And then you can tell them, that's me asking you for some food. I feel like I want to do more of these, but it's 3:23 in the afternoon, so we got to get to some other stuff on the show. That is today's super useless, fun little facts for you. When we come back, we'll talk Remember This, and we'll talk Baby Shark. Here is Maisie Peters' John Hughes movie.
This wasn't how it's supposed to go. I should be the one you're dancing with, spinning with a vodka coke. Everybody at my fingertips. I was gonna get my code, and baby, you were meant to follow me. And I was gonna act surprised, even though I know you wanted me. It's not like I've been crying, no. There's just smoke in my eyes. 'Cause this ain't no John Hughes movie where the girl gets the guy. You look right through me every time you walk by. I keep waiting for the heartbreak music that's never gonna come. 'Cause if you don't want me, then you're not the one. Sitting on the bathroom floor, trying to get my composure back. Think I built it up too tall. Knew I should have worn my Adidas. Maybe if I reined it in, you wouldn't want to kiss somebody else. And you don't owe me anything, so I'm just gonna walk home by myself. And it's not like I've been crying, no. There's just smoke in my eyes. 'Cause this ain't no John Hughes movie where the girl gets the guy. You look right through me every time you walk by. I keep waiting for the heartbreak music that's never gonna come. 'Cause if you don't want me, then you're not the one. Oh, no, no, you're not the one. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? All of our stupid friends know that I'm here for you. Guess I misunderstood. Thought you liked me too. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? Everyone told me so. Don't wait around for you. Guess I misunderstood. Thought you liked me too. 'Cause this ain't no John Hughes movie where the girl gets the guy. You look right through me every time you walk by. I keep waiting for the heartbreak music that's never gonna come. 'Cause if you don't want me, then you're not the one. Oh, no, no, you're not the one. Then you're not the one.
That was Maisie Peters' John Hughes movie, and now it's time for Remember This. And of course, I know every week I ask you, hey, do you remember this? And I'm not sure whether you will or not, but I guarantee that you remember this song today.
Daddy shark, do 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 do, Daddy shark, do 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 do, Daddy shark, do 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 do, Daddy shark.
Grandma shark do 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 do. Grandma shark do 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 do. Grandma shark do 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 do. Grandma shark.
I feel like I should apologize. Because as you go to sleep at night, that will still be ringing in your ears. Baby Shark, the most watched YouTube video of all time. It's still number one on the list. I'll get to that list a little bit later. It came out, they updated it maybe earlier this month, last month, I have to say now. Third week of May, I think they updated that. But yes, Baby Shark. It took 4 years for Baby Shark to attend to the top of YouTube's most played chart, but the song is actually much older than that, did you know? It's thought to have originated in U.S. summer camps in the 1970s, and one theory says that it was invented in 1975. There's also international versions, including the French Bébé Requin and the German Kleiner Hai, which apparently means little shark. That song, they say, became a minor hit in Europe in 2007. But those ones, nothing. No other one could compare the phenomenal success of Pink Fong's interpretation, which was sung by 10-year-old Korean-American singer Hope Sugoi and uploaded to YouTube in 2015. That do-do-do-do-do-do hook and the fishy dance moves became a craze here in Korea. Popular groups like Red Velvet and Girls' Generation and Blackpink started incorporating it into their concerts. And the following June, Pink Fong put out a second video. It was called Baby Shark Dance, and it featured 2 cute kids performing the dance routine. That clip inspired the hashtag Baby Shark Challenge, with everyone from Indonesian farm workers to pop stars like Cardi B and Josh Groban joining the fun. That song was literally everywhere. It was inescapable at the time. And the way that it was designed, it was like catnip for children. Children love repetition, right? And it was undoubtedly a very repetitive tune that children loved, and it helped it climb the ranks of YouTube's most watched videos. This is a clip, or sorry, not a clip. This is a quote from Pink Fong's marketing director, Jamie O, speaking to the BBC in 2018. Jamie O said, "Nursery rhymes have always been sort of slow, very cute, but something that would help your children fall asleep, as opposed to Baby Shark. Pink Fong's Baby Shark is very trendy, and it has a very bright beat and fun dance moves. The animation is very vivid. We call it K-pop for the next generation." The company wanted to turn the song into a movie and a musical, and they wanted to make it a classic for kids' music, just like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star was. Again, that was a quote from Jamie O, the director of Pink Fong's marketing department. Huge hit, but it did not come without its controversy. One controversy I think I heard about, the other controversy I didn't. Smart Study, that's Pink Fong's parent company. Do you remember this? They were sued by children's songwriter Jonathan Wright, who recorded a similar arrangement of the song in 2011, and he argued that he owned the copyright to that interpretation. But Smart Study responded that their version was, quote, based on a traditional sing-along chant that was passed to public domain. I looked that up because from the article that I found, there was no conclusion to that court case. Do you know that that court case was only decided a couple of weeks ago? The headline, or the top of the article said, a Korean appeals court ruled against an American composer in a plagiarism lawsuit he brought against the producer of the song. They just settled that court case within the last couple of weeks. Anyway, that was one of the controversies. There was another controversy which seemed totally random. 3 prison workers in Oklahoma were accused of using Baby Shark to punish inmates. According to court documents, 5 prisoners were handcuffed against a wall and forced to stand for 2 hours while listening to Baby Shark on repeat. Exposure to the song put, quote, undue emotional stress on the inmates who were most likely already suffering. That is a quote from an actual court case. They used Baby Shark as a kind of punishment for inmates that were in prison. Baby Shark, the most listened or most watched YouTube video of all time. If you're wondering what else is on that list, I was actually expecting that there would be other songs that would have replaced it by now, but nope, it's still there. 12.85 billion views, still number one on the list. Number two, Despacito. These are current numbers, by the way. Despacito, that's Louis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee, 8.16 billion views. Baby Shark has 4 billion more views than Despacito does. Number three, Johnny, Johnny, Yes, Papa? I don't know what that is. That's got 6.70 billion views. Number four is Bath Song. That's a nursery rhyme song. And number five is Shape of You by Ed Sheeran with 6 billion views. 3 of the top 5 are children's songs, and that's evidence, right? That when children, when they find something that they love listening to, they want to hear it again and again and again and again and again. All right, I'm finished with this topic, but do you want to hear it? Just, I mean, come on. For old time's sake, do we want to hear the song just a little bit one more time? Nah, PD, what do you think? You want to torture everybody just like the Oklahoma inmates? Here you go.
Daddy shark, daddy shark,
Daddy Shark, sing along! All right, that's enough of that. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll get into Today in Music. Here's Supertramp, Give a Little Bit. That was Supertramp, Give a Little Bit, and now it's time for Today in Music, and we'll have a look at the musical calendar and a peek behind that musical calendar to see what happened on this day, the very first day of June. We'll start today in 1972. Aretha Franklin's live album Amazing Grace, which was a collection of spiritual songs recorded at a church in January of that year, was released. Anchored by Franklin's stunning rendition of Amazing Grace, it became her best-selling album. I've never heard Aretha Franklin's version of Amazing Grace, but I can guarantee it would be something worth listening to. In 1974, the UK music magazine NME published its list of the 100 greatest albums, and the top three were number 3, The Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, number 2, Bob Dylan's Blonde on Blonde, and number 1, The Beatles' Sgt. Pepper album. I wonder if NME were to put out their 100 greatest albums list today, you might still find The Beach Boys at number 3, Bob Dylan at number 2, and The Beatles at number 1. Not much has changed, perhaps, over the years. In 1985, Sting released his first solo album on the 1st of June. It was called The Dream of the Blue Turtles. Tracks included Moon Over Bourbon Street, that was inspired by the novel Interview with the Vampire, and Russians was on that album as well, a song that looks at the Cold War from the perspective of the USSR. In 1991, Seal's self-titled debut album started a 3-week run at number 1 on the UK albums chart. It went on to win Best British Album at the 1992 Brit Awards. On June 1st, in 2000, the film Honest, starring 3 of the All Saints, is pulled from cinemas after a disastrous showing at the box office. I've never seen that movie before. I've never heard of that movie before. But when critics say a movie is so bad that they pull it from the theaters, that immediately makes me curious about it. I want to see this movie, Honest, starring 3 of the members of the All Saints. I'm going to have to try and find that one. In 2001, and this will be our last little factoid for Today in Music History today, on the 1st of June, the movie Moulin Rouge opened in theaters, and there's lots of music in the film, including covers of Nature Boy by David Bowie, Diamond Dogs by Beck, and Lady Marmalade by Missy Elliott, Christina Aguilera, Lil' Kim, Maya, and Pink, which went to number 1 in America. That is today's Today in Music. Let's listen to a couple of tunes from the artists we talked about. It's Seal, Whirlpool, and then Lil' Kim, Maya, Christina Aguilera, and Pink, Lady Marmalade.
Mama would. Want a child, no. Want a child. I wake out of a whirlpool, I walk into another day, and then I feel better. Whoa, because you came to stay. I almost threw my life away, thinking of what might be if I lose my destiny. Would I feel better than I might be? Would I see clearer than my eyes would see? Oh, if I showed I love you, angel. Like a square in a circle, I try and find another way to win. I try and make better way to the castle that I make, where the moon lights the way, and it's invisible by day. I hear temptation singing, just let go and I will take you there. Now would I feel better than I might be? Would I see clearer than my eyes would see? Yeah. Oh, if I showed I love you, angel, yeah.
I fell in love with an angel, if I showed I love you, angel, now would I feel better now?